What is going on, everyone? Lucky Locks here, and welcome back to another full fight card prediction video. And this is going to be for Bellator 255 Pitbull versus Sanchez 2. This is coming to you live on Friday, April 2nd. And I'm really excited for this card, man. I'm so happy Bellator is back. This card looks sweet. Super excited to break it down for you guys, and super excited to flick it on and watch it on Friday. So, kicking off the card, we got Jordan Newman taking on Branko Busick, and I'm gonna go with Jordan Newman here. You know, he's a really high-level wrestler. Branko Busick is pretty good too, but I just feel like it's been a long layoff since the last time he fought. You know, Jordan Newman's an up-and-coming guy in Bellator that they're definitely looking to grow. And I just feel like this is a favorable matchup for him. I think that he'll be able to just get it to the ground and probably just, you know, just hold him there. That top pressure might be a little bit much. So I see this ending by a knockout in round 2 or 3 for Jordan Newman, or just a full unanimous decision. I expect him to use the grappling and exercise some really good top pressure in this matchup. So I'm going to be going with Jordan Newman there. And then moving on to the next fight, we have Berkhamov against Herman Tirado. And this is going to be at 170. And, you know, Berkhamov is definitely going to be the pick here. Just like going through this guy's resume, man. You know, he's his last fight was in ACA. He's had fights in ACB, you know, over there in Russia. Pretty decent level competition. Definitely better than what Tirado's been facing. And you know, Tirado is quite a bit smaller. He's going to be giving up height and reach in this fight. He's a little bit older as well. You know, he was in PFL, so I don't want to take anything away from that. You know, before he was there, he was in doing a lot of fights in you know, the Gladiator Challenge, which you guys know I don't really feel is the highest level thing. But you know, that was a while ago. Before that, he had a couple fights on Bellator. So you know, he also does have a good resume. But I just like Muhammad Berkhamov here. I just think he's the more polished guy. He's bigger, you know, taller, a little longer. You know, Tirado's really built. You know, he's a big guy in there, but he's just, in terms of just stature, I just feel like Berkhamov is a little better, and I just think he's a little more high level. So I'm definitely going to be going with Muhammad here. I think he's the best pick, and I'm pretty confident that he'll get the job done. And then moving on up the card, let's see who we have next. We have Fabio Aguiar and Khalid Murtazaliev. So Aguiar, man, look at this guy's record, 17-1. You know, really good record. But then you go and look at who he's fought. He hasn't fought the best guys. You know, I mean, he did have a win over Marcio Alexandre Jr., who was pretty decent. You know, he had a short stint in the UFC, but I don't know. Looking through the guys he's fought, that's probably his best win. And a lot of the guys he's beaten are guys that you know, just on his local regional scene. And then you've got guys, you know, kind of lower level guys, don't have the best record and stuff like that. You know, and then look at Murtazaliev. I mean, he just came off a win in the UFC where he actually just put an absolute beating on CB Dalloway. He's had lots of fights in Fight Night Global, you know. He's just fought better guys. I feel like his grappling is going to be a lot better than Aguiar. I feel like he's going to be able to kind of have his way. I think he's going to be aggressive and just, you know, I think he's going to lead the dance. I think Aguiar is going to be playing catch-up the whole fight. And I think Murtazaliev is definitely going to be the pick in this bout. So that's who I'm going to go with. I'm going with Khalid Murtazaliev in that one. Then moving on to Magomedov facing CJ Hamilton. No disrespect to CJ Hamilton whatsoever, but I don't think I have to spend too much time breaking this one down, guys. You know, Hamilton's fought some decent guys. He's fought Jimmy Flick. He lost by arm triangle choke. He fought Jordan Espinoza. He fought Casey Kenny. He lost to all those guys. You know, he had some fights on Legacy FC before it was LFA, then on LFA. You know, that Casey Kenny fight was on Contender Series. He's had fights on Titan FC, but it's just, I mean, we're talking about Magomedov here, who is, you know, the only guy to beat Petr Yan. He then lost to Petr Yan after, but I mean, like, that's probably the the least embarrassing loss you could possibly have in the bantamweight division right now. And I'm just gonna go, you know, Magomedov, man. I don't know what else there is to say. I think he's just better everywhere, and I think he's easily gonna get the win here. I don't know if he's gonna get it by sub, by TKO, or if he's just gonna be an absolutely dominant, unanimous decision. But I think it's gonna be a dominant performance from Magomedov. You know, any way you slice it. So that's definitely my pick there. Then moving on to 155, we have Mandel Nalo against Ricardo Sachas. And this is an interesting matchup, man. Sachas, he's 9-2. He's 5'8", but a pretty long reach, you know, 73.5 inches. Just coming off a win, a first-round knockout in his last Bellator fight against Dominic Clark. Not really the highest-level guy. He had 2 straight losses in LFA to Jacob Rosales and Christian Aguilera. So, you know, he's good. He's pretty good on the ground. That's definitely where he's going to want this fight to take place. He's willing to stand, though. You know, he throws hard. He's willing to get in your face, and I just don't know how much that's going to play into his favor in this matchup against Mandel Nalo. So Nalo is a big guy for lightweight, man. 6 feet with a 75-inch reach, training at TriStar. And I should mention that Sachas is training at King's MMA, I believe. And, you know, that's a good camp, really good camp, so you can't discount that whatsoever. He's getting rounds in with good guys, you got to assume. And, you know, Mandel Nalo, he had that fight against Kilis Mota where the leg kicks just kind of wore him down after a while. And then he had his most recent fight against Sadawad, which was ended due to an accidental low blow. And, you know, Nalo, I just really like the pressure that he's able to put on guys. He's big, and he uses that reach, good distance control, and just puts guys under pressure where they're just not comfortable. And I think he's going to be able to do that with Sachas. Sachas might try to start throwing hard with that, might start fighting, you know, the fight that Nalo wants to fight. And I think that might happen here where Nalo's just going to get in his face and start piecing it up. And Sachas might try to, I don't know, maybe some desperation takedown attempts, maybe try to start throwing some bombs, and I just think it's going to end up in a situation where he's getting a little frantic, and it's just not going to be the best situation for Sachas. So I do think that Nalo is going to be able to pull this one out. So I'm going with the Canadian here, Mandel Nalo. That's going to be my pick. Then, moving on up the card, next fight, let me pull it up here, is Roman Faraldo and Trevor Goody. So Trevor Goody, man. Last time we saw this guy was against Conry Gracie, and I thought Conry Gracie was going to win. And, yeah, man, Trevor Goody just knocked him right out. And, you know, he went on punches in the 3rd round. So just the fact that he's 6'7", the reach of 76.5, sorry, which is a big reach. When you're 6.7, it doesn't seem as big, but still, you just can't count him out based on that, man. He's a huge guy. And that just kind of presents a problem for anybody that's going to get in there with him. But Roman Faraldo's really solid. And, you know, I picked him in his last fight when he fought Pat Casey. He hasn't really fought the best guys, but he had, you know, good amateur stats. I just think he's going to get it done again, man. I think he's really technically sound. He looks like a really good fighter. I like what I see out of him. This isn't going to be that confident just because Trevor Goody is 6'7", man, and that presents problems of its own. But I do think that Roman Faraldo is going to get it done. Do I think he should be a -500 favorite? Maybe not. But do I think he could be -350? Yeah, probably. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Roman Faraldo here. This probably isn't one that I'm saying, you know, like, this is a lock, go bet this. But, you know, I do like Roman Faraldo. He's a potential parlay piece on this card for sure. But this is probably not one of my most confident picks, but I do like Faraldo, and I like what I see out of him, so I think he can get it done here. And then moving on to Roger Huerta and Chris Gonzalez. So Chris CG Gonzalez, 5-0. You know, he's got that good wrestling. You know, 7-fight win streak. Both of his amateur fights were wins. And his last win over Vladimir Tokov, his win before that over Aaron McKenzie. Pretty decent competition right there. You know, good Bellator guy. So I like Chris Gonzalez here. I'm going to go with him based on the wrestling, but I'm not going to count out Roger Huerta. This is another one where I'm not that confident. So, you know, Roger Huerta, like, he's not a bum. He has fallen off a little bit. You know, he lost to Benson Henderson, which, you know, okay. He lost to Patricio Pitbull. That fight was awesome. You guys should go watch that fight, honestly. Patricio Pitbull versus Roger Huerta. That was a fire fight.
You know, it was fun to watch. A lot of crazy striking going on, and that big bombs being thrown. And then Sydney Outlaw beat him as well. So it's not like he lost to, you know, just random Bellator guys. You know, pretty decent guys in the Bellator promotion. Pretty decent guys overall. You know, these are good fighters. And he was supposed to fight Derek Campos last year. That fell through. And, you know, Chris Gonzalez, I just think he's going to be able to wear on him and take him down. This isn't super confident, but I do think that Chris Gonzalez, he's a little younger. He's got the skill set. He's got the momentum. Training at Team Alpha Male. I like Chris Gonzalez here. That is going to be my pick. So, yeah, going with CG in this one. And, yeah, who do we got next? This is a good card, man. I'm actually really, really looking forward to this. Tyrell Fortune and Jack May. We literally just saw this fight, kind of. We saw Tyrell Fortune fight him, and it ended due to an accidental low blow. And basically what happened in that fight is Tyrell Fortune went out there, got him to the ground right away, controlled him. Jack May was able to get back up. As soon as he gets back up, Tyrell Fortune gets him right in the moneymakers, and that fight was over. So, but, you know, Tyrell Fortune was looking like the better guy in that fight up until that point. So I really have no reason to think that Jack May is going to pull it out here. You know, Tyrell Fortune 8-1, just had a nice win over Sayed Soma. And Jack May is 11-7, is that his record? Yeah, 11-7. And he just came off a loss to Kyle Noblet, which is, you know, one of the better guys in the regional scene. So you can't really feel too bad about that one. But at the same time, you know, I feel like Tyrell Fortune would beat him. I feel like Tyrell Fortune was going to beat Mays in the last fight they had. And, you know, Mays just has some losses to some subpar guys. He has some wins over guys that aren't that good. One of his losses was to Derek Lewis, right? So, I mean, that's not a bad loss, but that was in 2014. That was a really long time ago. It was almost, you know, 7 years ago now. So, yeah, man, I mean, he did have a short stint in the UFC, but I just don't see him being able to beat Tyrell Fortune. I think that Fortune is a really, you know, that's going to be, I'm really confident that Tyrell Fortune will be able to get him down and get it done, you know, training out of Black Zillions, getting rounds in with good fighters. I think that Tyrell Fortune is going to either knock him out in the second round, maybe the first, probably the second, and if not, I think it might just be a dominant, unanimous decision for Tyrell Fortune with that wrestling game and that heavy top pressure, those elbows from top position. I like Tyrell Fortune here, and I like him a lot. So, yeah, that's going to be my pick. And going on to the next fight on the card, we have Usman Nurmagomedov, cousin of Khabib, coming up against Mike Hamill. And Mike Hamill is 7-4. In his last fight, he had Adam Boric. And that was supposed to be Adam Boric just completely walking through him. That was supposed to be Adam Boric getting it done, making it look so easy. But that wasn't the case. Adam Boric was a dog in that fight, man. He was in it. He was putting on pressure, you know. Obviously, it was a split decision, so one of the judges saw it in his favor, and Adam Boric was able to get it done in the end. But, you know, Mike Hamill looked pretty good. He's at the MMA lab, you know, good guys there. A lot of guys there who have just fought. You know, we had Kyler Murray in the UFC. We just had Sugar Sean O'Malley getting back in the win column in the UFC. So, you know, I like that camp, the MMA lab, you know, in Phoenix. That's a really good camp. And looking at Usman Nurmagomedov, you know, he's a Nurmagomedov, so he's going to be favored right off the bat. But, you know, he's a really good striker, and obviously he's got that patented wrestling as well. He is 8-0, or sorry, 11-0 coming in to this fight. He's like a minus 850 favorite or something like that, something along those lines. You know, I don't know if I justify him being that heavy of a favorite, but he definitely should be. You know, I don't know, probably like minus 500, 600, who knows. This should be Usman Nurmagomedov all day, should be. But I still really like him. I'm still really confident in him. You know, Mike Hamill is, you know, I don't want to discount his abilities in any way, but I think that he should be overmatched here with Usman Nurmagomedov. And, you know, I'm going with Usman all day in this fight. And now moving on to the next fight, we have Kano Watanabe coming in against Alejandra Lara. So Watanabe, a lot of people on Tapology seem to think that she is going to win. Let me just check the numbers. It's 77% for Watanabe. I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that at all. Watanabe 9-0-1. I mean, she just had a nice win over Lara on Bellator, but it's just like looking at the level of competition she's faced. She really hasn't fought anyone that good. I think she's really good. She's got good judo throws. She loves going to that ground and pound. She's got submissions too. But she just has not fought anybody that good, She's over there, getting some fights in Risen, which is, a promotion I like, especially for the women's divisions. I feel like they have strong women's divisions over there. They got some really good girls who can come over and do damage. But Alejandra Lara, like let's look who her losses are to. Juliana Vasquez, she is the champion of her division in Bellator right now. Elimele McFarlane was the champion before Juliana Vasquez beat her, right? And both those girls were undefeated coming into the fight against Alejandra Lara. And, those are fights that she, on paper is supposed to lose. And she was able to take Juliana Vasquez to a split decision. She has a win over Lena Ovchinnikova. That's another pretty good win, by rear naked choke in the third round. I like Alejandra Lara here. I just feel like she's fought better girls. I feel like she's a little bit better. And I don't know if Kana Watanabe is going to be able to deal with the level that Lara is going to bring to her in this fight. I think that this is going to be a little bit higher level than she's used to. I think Lara's going to put that pressure on him, but this is a really close fight. This is not one where I'm like, oh, this is 100% a lock. Earlier in the week and earlier even before the week, as soon as the odds came out, I was looking at Watanabe as an underdog, and I was like, you know what, maybe this could be a spot for me. But after watching the tape, I don't know. I just feel like Lara is a little bit better, and that's where my pick is going to be in this one. So we're going with Alejandra Lara here. And now moving on to the next fight, we have Neiman Gracie coming up against Jason Jackson. Jason Jackson was just coming off a win against Benson Henderson, where a lot of people thought Henderson would beat him. I personally didn't see it. I was on Jackson there. Jackson's got that super long reach, man. 77.5 inches. Like that's longer than Trevor Goody on this card, who's 6'7". He's 6'1", fighting out of Kingston. Born in Kingston, Jamaica, fighting out of Miami. Training at Sanford MMA, really good camp, so you obviously love to hear that. I like Jason Jackson a lot, man. Some really good wins on a 3-fight win streak. He lost to Ed Ruth by split decision, and MMA math incoming. Neiman Gracie beat him, so. But no, obviously, Neiman Gracie's only loss was to Rory McDonald, which is pretty, and it's not really a bad loss to have on your record. And he's just so crafty. Like, I just see him. I went back and forth on this one, man, because I really like Jason Jackson, and I really believe in what he brings to the table as a fighter. But, oh, man, I mean, Neiman Gracie is just high IQ stuff on the ground, man. Like, he just drags you to the ground, and once he gets there, you do this, then it opens up something else for him. He finds those holes and is able to capitalize well. And I just don't know if Jason Jackson can survive that for 3 rounds. On the feet, I feel like Jason Jackson definitely has the advantage. Is he going to be able to keep it there? I just don't know if I see it. And the odds on this are pretty good. Like if you're betting on either guy, you're getting a pretty decent return here as compared to most of the fights on this card. So if you really wanted to take a stab on Jason Jackson, you think he's just going to piece him up on the feet and be able to somehow stop the takedowns, I don't really have an issue with that. But I feel like Neiman Gracie is the play here, and I think he's going to be able to get it done by submission. When you're picking a Gracie, you're normally picking a sub, and that's what I'm going to pick here. I think Neiman Gracie gets it here, and I think he's going to get it done by sub. So that's going to be my pick, but that's going to be a close one. I think could definitely has the potential to be a close one, and Jackson, he has the ability to really make it a fight. And then moving on to the main event. Patricio Pitbull coming up against Emmanuel Sanchez for the second time. He beat him by decision. And, Pitbull's got that good power. He knocks out a lot of guys. And he also goes to decision a lot too, though, Come to think of it. But, you think of him as just having that extreme power, which he does have. And, Sanchez is a dog, though, man. Like, it takes a lot to separate him from consciousness or to get the TKO against him, that's for sure. And Sanchez has been on fire, 3 straight wins. He had a really nice win over Daniel Weichel in his last fight. That was a nice win. That was a fun one to watch as well. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. I do feel like he's improving. And, he gave Patricio a decent run for his money the last time they fought. But, Patricio Pitbull, one of my favorite fighters, and this guy is one of my favorite fighters. I love this guy. I love what he brings to the table. I love watching him fight. Super excited to see him back in the octagon again. I was really looking forward to this one. Like, I'm super excited for this, guys. 31-4. He just KO'd Pedro Carvalho. Awesome knockout. And I think, you know, Pitbull is definitely one of the best in the world at 145. Any promotion, any way you slice it, he's one of the best, man. I really like Pitbull. Really high on him. You know, he had that win over Juan Archuleta. You know, knocked out Michael Chandler in the first round. A lot of people say that was a bit of an early stoppage. It did kind of look like Chandler was out for a second when he was on the ground, but you know, I can see where people are coming from. I feel like that fight also could have gone on a little longer, but you know, Pitbull, he did his job in that fight. You know, what else do you want him to do? Beat Emmanuel Sanchez before, beat Daniel Weichel, who Emmanuel Sanchez just beat. Beat Daniel Strauss, and his last loss was in 2016 to Benson Henderson. I like Pitbull here. I really, you know, he's one of my favorite fighters, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I just see Pitbull getting it done, man. He's just so good. He's underrated by MMA fans as a whole. You know, watch this guy fight, man. He's got the tools on the ground. He's got the tools on the feet. Really intelligent fighter. And, you know, because of all these factors, I am just going to go with Pitbull in this one. And you know what? I feel pretty confident that he can get it done. So that's going to be my picks. Those are going to be my picks for the full card, guys. So as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at LuckyLocksPicks. Thanks for being with me on this one, guys. And best of luck on Friday. Hopefully we make some money. And yeah, catch you next time.